Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Welcome back and thank you so much for keeping it at Horizon TV. This is the second segment of the Muslim Insight Show. My sign language interpreter is Ilhan Noor and my name is Zamzam Ahmed. Welcome back. This is our second segment and we are going to talk about Al-Quds Day 2025. In studio, I am joined by Naomi Baraza, who is a Palestinian activist, and she's telling me she's the strong Palestinian activist. Hi, Naomi.
Hi, Zamzam. How are you?
I'm doing great. Karibu sana Horizon.
Asante. I don't know if I'm a strong activist, but I'm committed.
Wow.
I'm committed to the cause. Yeah.
Wow, that's amazing. Having people supporting Palestinian people strongly, mashallah. Tunafurahia tena sana.
Asante.
Now, we are talking about the Al-Quds Day, which is going to take place on 28th this month, inshallah. But it's all about supporting the Palestinian people, right? Maybe for those people who don't know about what is happening, you can briefly tell us about the current situation of the Gaza.
Thank you so much, and thank you for having me in the studio. And thank you so much, Horizon TV, for the support you've been giving to the Palestinian discourse. Because we need the media here. We need the media to tell the story, because there's a lot of propaganda on the Palestinian situation. So thank you so much. We appreciate this. I just want to say that we know that for the last about 17 months, a genocide has been happening.
Yeah.
A fast and furious genocide. We also know that for the last 75 years, 6 years, the genocide has been happening slowly. But from October 10th, Israel, supported by its Western allies, descended very forcefully on the Gazan people, and they've been wiping them out, basically bombing them day and night. And we all know that the damage, the harm that has been caused in Gaza. 60 days ago, negotiations arrived at a ceasefire. And something that is said to have caused some pause, and not really a complete pause, because we have information that even during the ceasefire, a lot of attacks were happening in small scales, but also denial of access to food and other aids in Gaza was being denied by the Israeli government. And then from Tuesday, the Israeli government under Netanyahu has descended very forcefully and just resumed the genocide with full force, and they're even calling it a second phase of what the world has never witnessed. And so we know that between now and Tuesday, over 780 Palestinians have been killed and hundreds injured. And especially in this holy month of Ramadan, when people are fasting, when people are praying, when people are in supplication, Israel doing this is very bad. And they're attacking people in their tents, in the places where they have taken refuge after all their homes were destroyed. So yes, we know that the world is watching another episode, second episode of an unfolding dangerous genocide.
That's really not so well.
It's horrific.
On this special month, when we expect that it will be a month of peace, you know? Yeah.
When you expect that people who believe in God, people who speak about God, will respect that people are presenting themselves before God in this month of Ramadan. And just respect that, even if you are bloody thirsty. Respect that this is a holy month. People are presenting themselves before God because you purport to believe in God. And, yeah.
I don't want to ask the reason as to why these things are taking place, but let's come to what has brought us today about the Al-Quds Day. What do you think of Al-Quds Day, or what's the significance of this Al-Quds Day globally and especially in Kenya?
Zamzam, we cannot separate what has brought about all these things from Al-Quds.
Yeah.
Of course, we must say what has brought all this to Palestine. It's occupation because it is colonization. So people have come from all over Europe and Russia to come and colonize and occupy other people's land. Just like we were occupied, we were colonized in Africa, in Kenya. And the same way people have come to Palestinian land to occupy because of colonization. Colonization always follows where interests are, and in most cases the interest is always land and other resources, in some cases mineral resources, in other cases oil and gas. So yeah, we know these are colonizers, just like we had the British colonizers in this country colonizing us. And so Al-Quds is an event, is an annual event that is observed globally since 1979. It was introduced by Imam Khomeini, the first supreme leader of the Iranian government after the Iranian Revolution. So immediately he introduced Al-Quds Day for the people to stand, mainly the Muslims, to stand in solidarity with Palestinians when they were forcefully removed from Jerusalem, which is a holy land. And so Al-Quds, Quds is also synonymous to Jerusalem. So they were removed there. So this day was introduced to help people, the Muslims mainly, to stand in solidarity with them. It's basically a symbol of resistance. Over the years, the event has moved from Muslims to all humanity, to all people who believe, who are love justice, who are justice loving, but also who believe in liberation. And so me as a Christian, I observe Al-Quds not as a Muslim, but as a Christian who believes in humanity, who believes in justice, who believes in a God-loving, who believes in a God who loves human rights. Yes. So liberation basically is behind Al-Quds, but because the Palestinians have been steadfast for fighting for their liberation, the rest of us, we offer solidarity, but we stand in Al-Quds with a symbolism of resistance. Yes. So
starting in the year 1979, that tells us that genocide did not just start the other day, or rather the other 17 months ago, right?
Yes, and it's important to also situate the history of this occupation. A lot of people, when they talk about the situation in Gaza, they start from October 7th, and they say, you know, Hamas attacked. Number one, there's a lot of propaganda. So that a lot of what we receive from Western media is narratives carved in their own interests, not in the interest of the liberation of Palestinians. But having said that, it's important to say that when you want to understand October 7th, you must understand that this colonization and occupation started way before, and it was only approved by the UN in 1948, but Balfour Declaration, which was in 1917, is a declaration that was made by a British emperor who were the colonizers of Palestine that time. So the way the British go to a country, like they came to Kenya and carved out the White Islands of Kenya, they decided, because Europe had a problem with Jews, they decided the way to solve their Jewish problem is to create a land for them. And so they created this lie of a land without a people and a people without land. And it is documented in history that Palestinians were there even long before. They were there before Jesus Christ. Jesus Christ was born into Palestine. So if we look at the history properly well, we'll be able to situate even October 7th, and we will know that these are people who've been fighting against oppression, occupation, and colonization.
For those people who don't know, you're talking about Al-Quds Day, standing in solidarity with the people of Palestine, right? Maybe somebody will ask, what is the importance, talking about Jerusalem, what's the importance of this city in religious perspective and the political context, maybe?
Okay, in a religious perspective, which I don't speak so much about because I'm not an expert in religion, but I know that Jerusalem is a holy city to the Christians because that is the home of Jesus Christ. It's a holy city to the Muslim because this is where the prophet ascended to heaven from. And it's also a holy city for the for Judaism. Okay, so it's really a holy city. When this Zionists occupied Palestine, initially it was under the rule or under the guard of Jordan, which were imposed by the British colonialists. But at least when the Zionists came, they occupied half of it. Chased away the Jordanian army, and then occupied the half of it. But in 1967, they decided to even forcibly attack the other side and destroyed villages where Palestinian people were living, attacked the holy city. You know, when you hear about Al-Aqsa Mosque, Al-Aqsa Mosque is not just about Muslims. There is a temple there for the Judaists. There is a big church, historic there. One of the oldest churches in Palestine, which Israelis have destroyed, is there for Christians. And then there is the mosque. So it's really a community, and they destroyed even the villages. So it's really a day to say that occupation is destructive. And so looking at this history, you want to also understand that when we commemorate Al-Quds Day, we're not just saying that it's a religious thing only. We're also saying politically and justice-wise is a people coming to dominate others. And by all standards of human rights, occupation is a human rights violation. And you have been, I'm sure, following the International Court of Justice and its observation and its rulings and its analysis over the whole issue, and they have declared that this is a genocide unfolding. The only point they missed, and which I think they should revisit, including the UN, is that October 7th is not in isolation. October 7th is a reaction from a long period of occupation by colonialists, by the Israeli Zionists. Yes. And when we talk about Zionism, I would like us to be very clear. We have Christian Zionism, we have Muslim Zionists, and we have Jewish Zionists. We have a lot of Jewish people who are pro-Palestine, who are supporting the liberation of Palestine. So we are not talking about any religion, we are talking about colonizers. And colonizing and colonization is a political ideology. So Zionism is nothing to do with the people who are Jews, and it's nothing to do with religion. It is a political ideology.
Wow,
Koloni.
That's amazing. I think the mentality that this is a religious thing should be erased from people's mind, right?
It is the media, unfortunately, especially the Western media, trying to drive that propaganda to divide us. You know, divide and rule. You look at people's ethnicity, you look at people's religion, you look at people's color, to be able, and people's class, to be able to divide them. And I would want to tell Kenyans, and I would want to tell the world that the war in Palestine is not a religious war, and it's not, it is racism at apartheid level, but it is colonization at a broader level.
And how does this Al-Quds Day, especially in Kenya, unite people from various cultural, from various religious and political backgrounds?
So in Kenya and globally, Al-Quds Day is very important. Remember, I started by saying Al-Quds is a symbol of resistance. And for the Palestinians have been fighting this liberation war. And even when they talk about Hamas, they've been fighting they are their liberation movement. And so when people are fighting for liberation, it's very important that they are surrounded by warmth, love, and solidarity, just like everyone else. You are probably young or not, or I'm sure you are young. I'm sure you are young when South Africa got its independence. When South Africa was fighting and it fought for many decades, it wasn't minus the global solidarity to end apartheid in South Africa. And so solidarity is very important. So Al-Quds unites us all in the symbolism of resistance, that these people are resisting, these people are fighting for self-determination, and therefore we all need to come together, all humanity needs to come together in their support, but to also offer solidarity, because they need that. It's very critical. So for us, for me, if you're any justice-loving person, if you are someone with humanity, you cannot continue watching people blowing up children and women mercilessly. So it's really a symbol to bring us together, to speak for justice, to speak for godliness. Me, I think the discourse for Palestine is a godly discourse. If you are any God-loving person, then you have the obligation to speak on behalf of the Palestinians.
And when we talk about challenges, I believe challenges are something that occur any time, at any cost. Probably, are there any challenges that you have encountered during this day? Maybe political pressure? Of
course, there are many challenges. I would like to say that imperialism that drives colonialism is a system, and it's a global system. And so they work so united, and that's why we justice-loving people must be united, and especially around Quds Day and the spirit of Quds Day. So they work together, they're united, so that if you are coming together to speak about Palestine, then you're threatening their interest. So they descend on you mercilessly. Sometimes you are arrested, you are trailed, you are surveilled, you are beaten when you're doing protests and demonstrations and marches in solidarity. But I want to say this. For me, this is very small compared to what is happening in Palestine. And every discourse has its own price to pay. And paying a price of kulala police cell siku mbili tatu wiki moja is nothing compared to the pain and loss and destruction we are witnessing in Palestine. I just wanted to say that as Kenyans, we must understand what Palestinians are going through, because we were there. Were it not for our freedom fighters, the Mau Mau, Dedan Kimathi, and others, who paid the ultimate price for us to be independent, Zamzam, you and I wouldn't be here today.
Okay.
So more than anyone else, Kenyans must understand what Palestinians are going through, and Kenyans must stand up to be counted in the support of the Palestinian liberation.
So we are expecting this demo, or rather this Al-Quds Day, to come on the 28th of this month, and I believe it will start from 3, right?
Yes,
From
but
3?
it's not a march. We're doing a forum.
Okay.
We're doing a forum where we will be just re-energizing and celebrating the courage and the spirit of the resistance of the Palestinian people. We will be doing awareness, but we will also be raising resources from Kenyans who are willing to raise whatever they have so that money can be sent to Gaza to support whoever it can support, even if it's 10 people, even if it's 100 people. So whatever it is, we will be able to raise, we will raise it. So we are not doing a march, it will be a forum.
Okay.
It's a closed door forum. Yeah, and everyone is invited.
Wow.
I want to say that Kenya, the government, not Kenya the people, Kenya the people are so much in support of Palestine.
Okay.
But Kenya the government is shaming us because we see them declaring publicly every time their Kenyan solidarity with Israel. They're not speaking for us, the people. They are speaking for themselves, the executive, not we the people. And I would want them to walk the talk, because in international arenas, they keep voting, sometimes under pressure for Palestine, sometimes maybe willingly, I don't know, but they have not cut ties with Israel.
Okay.
They are not going to be telling us the truth and genuine if they say this and take this, preach water and take wine. So they should walk the talk.
Thank you so much, Madam Naomi Barasa,
Asante.
Palestinian activist. We are short of time. I think time for us is up, and we have to end the show here.
Asante.
But I truly appreciate your time. Thank you so much.
Asante sana Zamzam.
Tunasema we stand in solidarity with the people of Palestine.
And we must end by saying Zionism is a threat to humanity.
Okay, wow. You've had her. Zionism is a threat to humanity. Until next Friday, my name is Zamzam Ahmed. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.